Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of the Manifesting Millions podcast. Today is a juicy episode. We're going to be talking about courage, especially as it sits in your career and professional life. I promise you that what you're going to hear today is unlike anything that you've heard before. So let's get right on into it. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. One of the things that I love about recording these episodes is that I literally can just snuggle on down in a chair with my laptop and my microphone, and that's all that I need, and I can just impart some delightful goodness and wisdom and insight to you, and I don't have to drive anywhere. And I'm feeling extra grateful for that today because it's blustery as fuck outside. So we have had it's been wildly warm in Calgary the last probably 3-4 weeks. I've lost track. All of the snow has melted. I've been really worried that our roses are going to start blooming. And I'm like, don't come out because winter's not over. And today we have been thrust back into winter. It is very blustery. We've gotten a pile of snow, and it's all white and things, and that makes me very happy. My friends know. I had a chat with a friend earlier today, and I picked up the phone, and she was like, "Oh my God, how excited are you?" And I'm like, "Wait, why? What am I excited about?" She's like, "It's all white again." I'm like, "That's true. It makes me very happy." I also think that snow is just very important for keeping the nourishment and the moisture in the ground. I know lots of people feel frustrated for having it around, but it is actually important for the environment and all the plants and everything. So anyway, all that to say, it's cold AF outside and it's cozy and warm in here, and it's just you and me and the microphone and some really juicy goodness today. So February, we've been focusing on career, and I don't know why I was going to say that differently. We've been focusing on career. Now we can all that to say, it's your whole professional life. So whether you have a job or you're an entrepreneur or your career is raising your children, whatever that looks like for you, that's the filter that we're looking at in February. Way back at the beginning of January, I think, when I first had the idea that I wanted to work through 3 pillars of wealth, was inspired by the Drop the Veil workshop that I hosted in November. And I'll actually be hosting that workshop again in March. So March 23rd, 24th, 25th are the days that I have on the calendar. It's a free workshop. It's really juicy. We go over 3 myths, which is all focused on breaking patterns that are blocking you from having the wealth and the money that you desire. So, excuse me, sorry, I just had a smoothie, so I got a lot of swallowing to do. This is the thing when I go have a bite and then I sit down to record. So the first myth that we break on day 1 is the myth that you're not good with money. This is something that so many of us we either are taught through our family structures, or we learn this, we pick up this story based on like our experiences or what the world tells us. So we break that myth on day one. And something that I can't remember which episode it comes out, but there's an episode that's somewhere in the like secret series that I've been dropping for you here in the podcast, that I think I talk about like this kind of I'm not good with money belief. However, we talk about it differently inside the workshop. On day two, we get rid of the myth that says I can't or don't want to have it all. This one is for the ladies in the house in particular because OMG. First it was, well, you can't have it all, so like, why even bother? Then it was, I can absolutely have it all. And then we all found ourselves going, wait, why am I having to do everything? And then we're like, well, sure, I can have it all, but I don't really want to. And I'm telling you, all three versions of that are bullshit. So we break that on day two, and I give you some really powerful reframes so that you can stop like just trenching in that myth, and you can start creating more freedom and wealth in your life. And then day three, we tackle the myth of sacrifice. This is a really big one, especially when it comes to our money, especially when it comes to building our wealth. There's a lot of this myth that is perpetuated when we talk about like short-term goals versus long-term goals. And this myth is like, it's really getting in the way. So it's a completely free workshop. You just got to save your spot so that you get the access link for it. I'll drop the URL into the show notes for you. And it's happening the 23rd, 24th, 25th of March. It will be recorded, so you will have some time to catch the playback if you cannot join me live. But those of you who join me live, I think I may toy with, I haven't decided yet. I may do a little like FAQ at the end. Yeah, so get registered, save your spot, and I'll let you know if I decide to do that. Now, back to where I was supposed to be. I was like, where am I supposed to be on my page so we can talk about today, because today is actually, that was a complete aside. Today is actually our second last week talking about our career. And one of the things that I think is so, how do I say this? So frustrating is that we have these, so in our career, let me just like try to frame this. In our career, no matter what it is, whether, we have a high power job they're going after, or like we are a server, or we work in like customer service industry, or we are building a business, or it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but everybody in their professional life experiences setbacks. Of course, you're going to. That's just naturally part of life. Now, my original intent was to frame today as like a journaling prompt that we can use to reframe our setbacks as proof of courage and not failure. And when I sat down to kind of like structure how did I want to talk about this, I'm like, I don't think that's quite right. So I want to tell you just a little bit of a story here to help get us started, because there's something that our brain does that I don't know if everybody is aware that our brain does, because I know a lot about how our brain works. I know a lot. I teach about it in all of my programs. I work on it with my coaching clients, and still it like catches me. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is happening? So I want to set the stage. So we just finished the Family Day long weekend in Canada. So it's just a 3-day weekend. The whole idea is like you spend more time with your family. That's like cool and shit. And my husband and I went out skiing yesterday. Yesterday. That would have been Monday. So we were out skiing. We're in the mountains. It's, oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful day. Now, we haven't been on the ski hill for 3 weeks because we both ended up getting the cold that's been cycling around, and it took both of us out. So we missed 2 weekends of skiing. So it had been a minute since we'd been to the ski hill. And like I said, it's been quite warm. And I was like, please tell me there's still snow left on the mountains. And I was a little worried that it was going to be absolutely packed on the ski hill on the holiday Monday. So we arrived at the ski hill just before it opens. just like we planned. It's an absolute, we call it a bluebird day. Like it's a blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining. The snow looks amazing. The mountain is in really good shape. It's just amazing. Okay. We had a great day. We were out, like it was just my husband and I, and it wasn't busy, which was amazing. So what that meant was that every time, so we'd ride up the chairlift, we'd ski down, and we'd basically ski right back on the chairlift. We didn't have to stand in line. It wasn't like we were hanging out. There was no crowds. It was awesome. It's my favorite kind of ski day where the snow is good and there's just enough people out there to make it gezellig. If you're Dutch, you know exactly what that word means. If you're not, it's think of it like an atmosphere that is like juicy and joyful and just like really lovely. So there's enough people around to make it fun, but not so many that you're like, oh my God, could you get out of the way? So this is the day, okay? We just had 2 days where my husband and I like hung out together. The day before, we just cozied in and watched movies. I baked a cake for one of our nephews. We had friends over for dinner one night. Like it's been a very lovely, relaxing couple of days. And now here we are on the mountain on this gorgeous day doing one of the things that I love doing the most. And as we were, going up on the chairlift and then like skiing back down, it was pretty quiet. My husband wasn't super chatty yesterday. I wasn't feeling super chatty yesterday. And my mind started to wander. And what I noticed, moreover, isn't just that my mind wanders, because my mind wanders all the time, but my emotions started following my thoughts. So because my husband had been so quiet, and that's pretty unlike him, like we have wonderful conversations and we talk about all kinds of random shit. And like um it's not that we can't have quiet time between us, but it was odd how quiet he was being in the morning. And I'm like, So my brain got busy, because that's what brains do, trying to come up with a reason why he was quiet. Because of course, that's what our brain has to do, right? And of and of course, if you're familiar with brains at all, I mean, you have one, so I bet your brain does this too, because most of them do. What my brain started doing was going, wait a minute, what was it? What did I do that made him so quiet? And for myself, it's actually not so much. So like the whole kind of TV meme where, the guys are like, oh my God, like what did I do wrong? And they have no idea. For me, it isn't what did I do wrong or what did I do? It's what didn't I do? That's where my brain goes. What have I not done that is somehow causing him to be upset and therefore quiet? Now, my brain's favorite topic right now, and I got to tell you, I felt really uncomfortable writing it down. I feel really uncomfortable as I'm about to say this to you. It feels like everything in me is screaming, Amy, don't say this. You don't want to tell your audience this. It's going to scare everybody away. But we're going to just do the brave thing and jump right in. The favorite topic that my brain goes to right now, anytime something outside is off. So my husband is quiet. He is, whatever, isn't smiling. He's, I don't know, taking longer at work. He had a bad day, whatever. The topic that my brain focuses on is that it must be because I'm not making much money. That's what my brain likes to say. Like I said, I really I don't want to say those words out loud. I don't want to tell you. And when I say like not much money, like if you were to see my income, you're like, Jesus Christ, Amy, like how are you even functioning? And it's a one day at a time operation. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's what my brain focuses on. It takes everything, all the work that I've been doing, all the programs I've written and recorded, the podcast episodes I've recorded, all the social media posts, the DMs, the landing pages that I built, getting up every single day to create something that has never existed in the world. Especially because it does not look like much is working yet. All of that work is just brushed away. My brain just flicks it off like, nope, none of this counts. And here's the thing. This is why it happens, because our brains are meaning making machines. There is literally nothing in the world that is better at generating meanings to random things than our brains. They are fucking top notch. Nothing will ever come close. AI won't even be able to touch it. Because the thing is, no matter how smart AI becomes, it will never know you as personally as your brain does. Okay? So like no matter how and this is here's the wild thing. This is the part I'm going to just say this a little bit like maybe contradictorily, but like this was a big lie that I feel like has been taught to us in the personal growth space that is like, well, you know, your thoughts control your things, so you can control your thoughts. You absolutely can to a degree. And also, your brain works so much faster than our conscious thought does. Your brain will start making meaning of things and it will find its favorite things. And it will use those favorite things and it will shift from season to season. Okay. When I was growing up, it had a whole different reason because of course, like when I was a kid, it wouldn't matter how much money I made, right? It had a different reason. It had reasons for why I don't know, didn't fit in at school. It had reasons for why my soccer team didn't win the provincial tournament. It had whatever it was. In different seasons, it will have different reasons, but it will pick its favorites, and somehow our brains will create meaning that says whatever is happening here that we're not sure about, it must be because this. And my brain knows that the deepest cut for me is that I'm letting my love, my friends, my audience, my soul down because I don't have dollars raining into my bank account right now. That's its favorite story. So that's the one that it picks up for everything, right? So when my husband is quiet and we're having a great day on the ski hill and it's absolutely amazing and we had 2 amazing days together and like, you know, up until when I got up, I felt relaxed and I was happy about the day. Now, you know, left to its own devices as my mind starts to wander, it's trying to ping off of what's happening here. Why is he quiet? Why is he not saying very much? Why do I feel a different kind of energy from him? And it goes, well, it must be because Amy, you haven't made enough money this month, and therefore he's upset. And so, like, therefore, you know, XYZ is happening. That's the brain's favorite meaning at this moment in my life. So, like I said earlier, my original topic for today was to offer you a simple journaling prompt to reframe setbacks as proof of courage, not of failure. Now, this is something that like I do in my one-on-one work with my coaching clients. So if you're like if there's a space in your life, in your career, that you're like, I just can't seem to create shift here. I can't seem to move forward. I just feel like I'm stuck. Then book a session with me because we will create some really, really amazing shift and we'll get you unstuck and we'll do it quickly. So I want to circle back though. Even though we're focusing on career and having a journaling prompt to reframe those setbacks would be really appropriate, what I want you to understand, this is what I really want to double down on. When things are going slow, when it feels like nothing is working out, when our brain pulls up its favorite reason why XYZ is going a certain way and how it's, of course, because we did or didn't do something or we are or aren't something, the setback that we're experiencing doesn't feel courageous. It doesn't feel courageous. And sure, you can journal through and try to give yourself like frame it as a way to go, okay, but I understand that this setback feels yucky and it feels like failure, but actually it was really courageous. That it doesn't feel that way. And not that the journaling doesn't help, but this is the thing that I think really trips us up. In the story of our lives, there is no cutscene that goes through all the setbacks that shows us the steady, determined progress, right? It's certainly not like set with that amazing, epic, motivational music and we're like, that's friggin' right. And every time I think of, you know, something like this, I think of the scene from Captain Marvel where she's being bound by, I can't remember what the name of the energy being her thing is, but it shows her falling over and over and over. And The bad character is like, you're only human and humans are weak. And then you see the next thing where she gets up again and again and again, and the music swells and it like brings tears to my eyes every time. But like in those moments, it doesn't feel like that. In those moments, it's just us. It's just me sitting on the chairlift, feeling low when everything seems like it should feel awesome. It's just you staring at the pantry at 3 in the afternoon or 6 in the evening, wondering whether you should skip dinner entirely and just eat cookies, because if you can't eat your feelings after a day like today, what's even the point? It's just, the guy in the car next to you that's doing stupid fucking shit in traffic because he has no sense of control in his life and therefore is trying to find it in some way, and so does it by taking joy away from others. That's the thing. The setbacks don't feel courageous. And the challenge is, and this is the thing that I find, like, I think this is where our humanness sometimes really gets in the way. It doesn't look courageous to keep trying day after day, whatever it looks like for you, whether it's going to your job or building a business or taking care of your kids or just, getting up and having a sandwich, because 8 billion other people are doing the same thing. It doesn't look courageous. It just looks like life. That's just life. But I want you to consider this, and I will give you a tiny little prompt that you can work with if you like. I want you to consider this. If you are trying something at all, if you are even taking the tiniest little movements towards your dream, even if you're only like skimming over job postings or dreaming about your next promotion, that in itself is courageous. And it's not actually about reframing the setbacks. It's actually about recognizing that simply making the attempt requires more courage than many are even willing to explore. Most people are unwilling to even, go past the dream of the fact that they could get a promotion, that they could have a different job, that they could live a fuller life. That money can feel better, that they can have more of it in their bank account, that they can have, a wealthy career and a wealthy bank account and a wealthy health and a wealthy relationship. Like, most people are going, well, no, that's not possible. They buy into one of those myths that I mentioned earlier that we're going to bust out in March. Understanding that just by making the attempt, even if you're just getting started and it's not, look, okay, let me just say this right up front. I guess it's not front. We're 23 minutes in. But let me just say this clearly. It is not going to look courageous. It is going to look like you're a fucking idiot. All right? People around you will say, you're so brave. I so admire you. You're such an inspiration. But I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to notice on the days that you're feeling off, the days that you're just like, what is happening today? And your brain is very busy trying to tell you all the reasons why this is a failure, why this is like another example of how you shouldn't be moving forward. I want you to think about how many people around you who say that you're brave, who say that you're courageous, who say that you inspire them are actually doing something. Because it's actually not a lot. And there's no shade here. Like, I'm not like, wow, everybody should like fucking move on their dreams. That's not what I'm saying here at all. What I'm saying is that for those of us who hear the call, who are willing to, even at least play with it, even if you haven't started answering the call yet, but you're willing to go like, okay, like what could this mean? What might this look like in my life? That itself is courageous. So I'm going to give you a little prompt. It's a little wordy, and I'll pop this into the show notes for you so that you can find it easily. But I want you to play with this. It's a two-parter, okay? So part one, what feels so boring, so run-of-the-mill, so unextraordinary that it hardly seems worth mentioning, but is something that I'm trying, that I'm testing, something that no one around me is even really willing to explore. What is that thing? What is that thing? Write it down, okay? What's the thing that like it looks boring as fuck and that's completely okay, but like nobody else is even willing to test it out and you're at least a little bit in the arena. What is that thing? And then follow it with this. I am courageous, even if it seems small, and I honor that courage. I'm proud of that courage, and damn it, I don't care if it looks unglamorous, it's still courageous. So give that a try and then let me know if you're on my insights emails, like just hit reply on like the next email that you get and let me know how that prompt worked out for you. And if you're not, what are you even doing with your life? Get on the insights email list. URL is in the show notes. Or reach out to me on the gram and just like send me a DM and let me know how that journal prompt worked out for you. What I want you to understand is that, how do I say this? Courage, especially in our career, does not look like courage. Um, but it's a tiny bit different than just plodding along. Okay? And that doesn't mean that you have to go after different jobs and different roles and bigger pay and all the things. If that's what you want, then great, then absolutely. But like, if you're daring to dream that things could be better, that all, and like talk about it in that way, that in and of itself is even courageous. I'm gonna trust that my husband is okay that I share it this way. So I'm gonna use him as an example because I think it's such a beautiful, clear example. So my husband works in the construction industry, and he's been in that industry for like, I think approaching 3 decades now. And he's extremely good at his job. He works for a company that he's really quite pleased with. The last year has been quite challenging. And he's still been like doing excellent at the execution of his job, but like everything around him has made all of the work way harder than it was supposed to. It is very easy for, regular Joe Blow to just go, well, you know, what, like, this is just how it is. Companies always treat you like shit. It's never going to be perfect. Work's always going to suck, whatever. Like, it's so, I have to really think about like, what are the things that people would say? Because it's so not in our world. Instead, it's not that he can't talk about what's frustrating or hard or causing struggle in his day, but he also has steadily kept his vision at it will get better and things are getting figured out. And I'm going to keep doing what I can to make sure that I am serving all of my clients to the highest degree. And I am trusting that everything around is getting resolved and responded to in a way that is going to make things better. That doesn't seem courageous, but that is very courageous because it's a different step than just throwing my hands up in the air and going, well, none of this matters anyway. All right. So I trusted that because it's actually, this is a funny thing, but it's actually easier to point to things being courageous when we are building a business, growing a business, just because it's so inordinary, I suppose. I realize that's grammatically incorrect, but you know what I mean. Versus like where we're in a job, and especially if we're not, driving hard into like growth and promotions in our career. So I want you to play with that. Let me know what you think. Like I said, if you're on my insights list, just like grab the latest email that I sent you and hit reply and let me know. I will put the journal prompt for you into the show notes as well. And last quick reminder that I've been testing the space of doing these monthly discussion calls. So far, I've only had like I did 1 month because that was January. Like this happens when like months are longer than weeks. So February's call is going to be on Thursday, February 26th. It'll be at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's completely free. It's not like it's not a workshop. I'm not going to like sell you anything. I'm not going to go, okay, here, sign up for this amazing thing. If it makes sense in the context of our conversation, I'll let you know if there's something that would be helpful for you, because otherwise that would just seem silly if I didn't. But the discussion call is actually a space for you to come and ask your questions, ask questions about the content that I've been sharing. If there's something that I said today or I've said in previous episodes and you're like, I want to understand this a little bit more, or how do I apply this to my life, or I have XYZ, question about my career or whatever, jump on in and we'll work it out live together. Okay. So it'll likely have a tiny bit of coaching, but it is not a coaching call and it's completely free. I just want to test it out, see if this is helpful. So you need to register because I need to send you a link somewhere to join the call. So you need to register to get onto that call so that I can send you the link and the OMG. To register and save your seat for the call, the link is in the show notes. So just click that link and I'll see you live. All right. I don't think that will be a recorded call. So if you miss it, you miss it. Because I want to be honoring of the space that like not everybody wants their stuff recorded and used forever and ever. So in this case, it's not going to be recorded. All right, my loves, I trust that this has been a juicy, useful episode for you. If you haven't yet done so, please leave me a review for the podcast. That'd be awesome. And if you know someone who could benefit from this from this episode, it would be amazing if you shared this episode along with them. If you do happen to share and post this episode in your stories on Instagram or like anything like that, please do tag me just so I can celebrate you and like give you a little shout out on my gram as well. And the Instagram handle is Amy Van Meel, all one word. And if you have no idea how to spell it, it is, of course, in the show notes. All right, my loves, have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following at Amy Van Meel or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.